It's me, the Tack Studios, and today this is my review of the LEGO Delorean Time Machine. This is set 10300 with 1,872 pieces and is an 18 plus set. I managed to get this set on eBay for about 194 something pounds. I don't know the exact price, but you know, it ranges between about $149.99 and $200. I've moved the camera angle and the car just a bit so you can see how much of a brilliant set this actually is. If you haven't seen the films before or just don't know what it is, this is a car from Back to the Future and it is called the Delorean Time Machine. And nowhere on the box or somewhat on the model does it even say Delorean. I don't think they managed to get the rights, but I'm about to show you something which does sort of boggles my mind a bit, so I'll show you now. The only mention of the DeLorean is actually on the front of the car with the DMC logo. How iconic. If you don't know, DMC stands for DeLorean Motor Company, and I just think it's a brilliant nod to the original car, and it'd be incomplete without it. This set took me absolutely hours to build. It's the most chaotic, lovely build I've ever seen, and don't worry, that is a compliment. The build is just so crazy, it jumbles in everywhere. It's absolutely brilliant. Right now I have it displayed in its Back to the Future 1 version, and the only way to distinguish it between the two models is between this. This is the nuclear reactor type thing, that of course you put the plutonium in at the top, and it fuels, the flux capacitor on the front. Even in the Back to the Future 1 version, it has many cool features, like the gull wing doors. See, this is the driver's side, and of course it does open on the other side. It is also handy, you can also lift both of them at the same time. If you go to the front here, you can open the boot. It is quite fragile, this boot, but in here there is the plutonium box. Of course, it has plutonium in it. Just put neatly back in there. And the hoverboard for Marty McFly from the second film. And it just goes snug right there. One of my favourite features of the set is, if you look in there, there's a button at the top which you can push and it lights up the flux capacitor. I'll show you right now in the dark to show you how it looks. It's pretty much pitch black in my room right now, so let me just, there we go. You can see all the details quite clearly in there, even the flux capacitor, which is not a printed piece actually. The flux capacitor is an anchor piece or a grappling hook with a sticker and a window piece, which I think is quite cool. To convert it to the Back to the Future 2 version, I'll just show you how to do it now. I've got it zoomed down here so you can see all the details, and I think the back looks brilliant. So if we want to convert it, these two wires right here, which connect to the back here, we'll just pull them out. One of these does get used for the Wild West version, or the 1955 version, so we'll just save one of them for a bit later. Now we'll just take out this fusion reactor. So this piece, it's a bit confusing. To make it into the second one, you will need to keep this, but I did involve a piece already in my collection to, make it happen. This entire section does need to be removed, and the only pieces that need to be removed from this, because we will be keeping two, are these two great pieces. Put them to the side, and we'll take away this 1x4 black piece. So we'll just keep these two pieces for now. And the other piece that we need to take away is this whole bit. The other thing that we need to do is remove the number plate, the out of time, which is absolutely iconic. So what we'll need to do is just snap away these little grates here, take away this whole bit. It is a bit frustrating trying to get this out. See, that whole thing just broke there. I find it a bit frustrating that they didn't make it all compact so you can remove it really easily. But fortunately, I have found a fix online that you can do this quite easily with. To swap it out, you will just take this piece off, get the other number plate, take away the out of time one, get the orange California one. And that's it. Of course, you will need to add it back to the rest of it. So I'll just add all these pieces on. This one is still stuck to the car. See, I am quite frustrated that they didn't make it all snug so you can take it out in all one big chunk. But, you know, it is what it is, and I cannot, unfortunately, change it. Just got the headlights fixed, and we'll just snap it back in. Really cool how they use ball joints. So, also, sorry, I need to repair this bit now, because it's not all that... It is quite fragile, this set, but it's perfect. So right now, we'll just put back on this bit. And if I have done everything correctly, yep, it should just stay there. So, then put the grates here back on, the cooling grates. And then we're ready to add the rest of the things on. I've moved it to more of a front-on view so you can see what you're actually doing. So this is the piece that we'll need to build, which of course does come in the set. These two little black pieces here, these need to go on the underside here, so it's like that. I'm trying to do it in a really clear way, because of course it's black pieces and it's quite difficult to see. And what you do is you just put it quite snug, make sure this piece is covering that entire piece there. The next thing that we'll need to do is build Mr. Fusion, and of course you will need to add in the piece that I spoke about earlier underneath to make it raised a bit. I think Mr. Fusion is a really nice inclusion in this set, and you know, it's got two sticker pieces on the front and back, and there's a little latch here made out of a skeleton leg, and if you just move it, there's a banana and a beer can. The exact things Doc Brown put in it in the actual film. So this will go quite snug in there. And that is how to turn it from the Back to the Future 1 version to the Back to the Future 2 version. And now we have Mr. Fusion on there. Of course, it looks brilliant, and of course, it doesn't change much about the vehicle, only this back piece and the number plate on the back. There is one thing that I'd like to talk about, is a feature that I didn't mention with the first one, mainly because technically the first version didn't have that version. So, if you just come into the underside, sorry, it's very heavy, extremely heavy. I've tilted the camera up so you can see there's a switch back here. So I apologize because I can't get the correct camera angle up. I will show you guys in a bit. So if you just pull this lever, the wheels can do the flying position. And it's very easy to convert back. To show you guys a more of a hands-on thing, I'll just carry it up. It's extremely heavy, so please watch out. Now it's converted. And if you just want to look, my version has a bit of a weird problem with it. It happened when I was building it. But yep, now it's in the Back to the Future 2 flying mode, which I think is really cool. The way to convert it to the Back to the Future 3 version is much more complex than any of the other modes are, and I'll show you now. The thing that you'll need to do with this build is build many other sections. You'll need this bit, one of these bits, and these two bits that we took off the first version. And of course, this bit, this goes on later. The way to construct all of these, this piece needs to go in there. This great piece needs to complete that bit. This bit goes, right there. And this wire goes so it can go like that. Also, there are about 4 wheels that we need to put on. Just so you don't have to watch me doing this tedious process, I'll just speed it up. And here we have the almost completed Back to the Future 3 version with the white wall tires. The next step in turning this, and the final step, is the hood/bonnet. So we'll take away these pieces. We'll take away this specific bit with the snot bricks on the other side. We'll just flip them around just for now. Put them back on. Put these parts back on. And of course, these are the pieces that make it so snug, you know, the boot and all that. And now we can easily just add it back on. And this piece goes on the front. Of course, the buckle goes a bit like that. And that is your completed Back to the Future 3 time machine. Although I like this mode, I think it's a bit inferior to the 2 other versions. Of course, I did enjoy Back to the Future 3, it was not my favourite one of the films. My order of the favourites would be 2, 1, and then 3. Bit of a stupid mistake from me here. I forgot to add an accessory that was supposed to be a part of the first film model, so we're a bit far too late now. Of course, the accessory I'm talking about is the lightning rod, which they used to get Back to the Future from the first film, which 1955 Doc helped him construct. So, here's what it looks like on the third film model, because I'm a bit stupid. Yep, that's what it looks like on the third film model. Sorry. There's another thing that I really want to talk about, and that is the exclusive minifigures for this set, which is Doc and Marty, and they have this really nice display plaque. And I really like the look of these minifigures. I love Doc with his shades and his, yellow suit. I love the look of Marty. The only problem I had with Marty is that he didn't come with the reflective hat that he had in the film. But I really like how he had the self-drying jacket and the self-tying shoelaces with the Nike. And the plaque is very good. Yet again, another, problem. It does not have the word Delorean on it at all. But, it has some cool features, Back to the Future, Time Machine, Manufacturer, Dr. E. Brown Enterprises, year 1985, power 1.21 gigawatts, fuel plutonium, activation speed 88 miles an hour. So, that is pretty much the whole of the Back to the Future Time Machine Lego set. So yeah, in my opinion, this set is a definite must-buy for Back to the Future fans like myself. And I just think this set is absolutely beautiful, and it is a thing of beauty.